We got a guest tonight, too.
Oh, cool.
Phone in. Hey, what's up, folks? Stu Myrick, sports guys talking wrestling. Justin Simmons has play-by-play duties again tonight. I think he's got them for the next couple weeks. So I bring in the relief pitcher straight from Fight Night.
The sidearm righty.
The crafty lefty.
Ambidextrous.
Okay, whatever. Eddie Cross. What's up, man?
Howdy doody.
You and I just saw each other on Saturday.
Yeah. I keep forgetting it was Saturday, not Sunday.
It was Saturday.
That is messing with my head. They got to stop this.
They're not going to stop it, at least through WrestleMania. Although WrestleMania will be both Saturday and Sunday.
True.
The two-night stupendous. Yeah. So
The things they come up with.
I know. So
I'm waiting on them to find like a really old word from like the 40s or something to just pull something out and bring it back.
Here, get close to the mic.
Oh, sorry.
I
mean, stupendous is like
it's
50s
one of those,
kind of word.
That's
anyway.
one of those words. We are going to be joined in the first segment by Justin Barrasso from Sports Illustrated. Been wanting to get him on for last several weeks, and it'll be a good week to get him on to recap everything that happened with the Royal Rumble. What's funny is, and we'll talk about this during the recording. A lot of people. I saw several people on social media, which take that for what it's worth.
Yeah.
Calling this the worst Royal Rumble, or one of the worst.
I saw someone say that.
It wasn't that bad.
The finishes were kind of lackluster.
Well, and I think that could be said for the whole thing.
Yeah.
The whole thing was, we knew what was going to happen.
Yeah. I didn't like the way they finished Lesnar and Lashley. Ronda had a tough time throwing Charlotte out, and that showdown didn't last very long.
Yeah.
And then Brock it was a very anticlimactic finish for him.
Yeah. So, like I said, we'll talk about it with Justin Barrasso, but and of course now we are on the road to WrestleMania. See, they even started already with the matches for Elimination Chamber.
Yeah, they already had it filled out.
Well, not filled out. They only got 2 matches so far, but
No, I meant the Elimination Chamber.
The chamber itself. Yeah,
normally that takes a couple weeks to get all 5.
Nah, they got them all.
Just like that.
Yeah. So how you been since Saturday?
Pretty good. Got to watch a couple of great football games.
Yeah. Great conference championships.
Actually had to go into the office all day for the last couple of days.
Oh, wow.
That's throwing me off. And and we talked to Michael Buffer.
That's right. Yeah, Jordan
Fight
mentioned about that. Yeah. So we'll hear that tomorrow night at 8 p.m. on the Horn
or
on podcast.
You can hear it now on demand on SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get
your podcast.
Yeah. Wherever you are, however you may be listening.
Right. So, but yeah, I saw
already on Facebook and Twitter too.
That's cool that you got Michael Buffer, who has been, an iconic ring announcer,
almost 40 years.
Boxing, wrestling. He'd done wrestling. He was, he did a lot of the old WCW events.
Mm-hmm. He was a model before. A model and an actor.
Why? That doesn't completely surprise me. I could almost see that.
I had to Google it.
Yeah.
Because I've never seen that.
Yeah.
But man, those pictures are as old as I am.
Oh yeah. Well, it's 40 years ago.
Yeah, he is 77 now.
Man, it's crazy. So that's cool. Yeah. Like you said, saw a couple great conference championship games. So for the second year in a row, a team will get to play in the Super Bowl in their home stadium.
Yeah, it never happened before. Now twice.
Now we got it twice.
It's pretty cool. I went to
Rams
SoFi in October,
Bengals.
I believe.
Yeah, I've heard nothing but good things.
Yeah.
I saw a lot of pictures today.
A
lot of pictures today. They were doing like a media availability there for the assembled media there in Los Angeles, getting it ready for the Super Bowl. Painting the field and all that good stuff. Saw a couple of things like from Arash Markazi, good friend of ours. Saw some stuff from Nick Hamilton, who does a lot of media stuff in Los Angeles. I'll be out there next week, not next weekend, next week, anchoring the Horns coverage of Super Bowl 56.
So you're gonna do your show from there next week?
As it stands, Sports Guys Talking Wrestling will come from Super Bowl Radio Row. Right now, I have scheduled an interview with Tom Hannafin, the former Tom Phillips from WWE. Now the play-by-play voice for Impact Wrestling.
Nice.
Also does the Penn State podcast for Believe Podcast Networks.
Oh, okay.
So it'll be good to talk to him. And I'm going to try to get. There are whispers that we might see a couple of WWE wrestlers on Radio Row. So we're going to try to finagle ourselves to or I will finagle myself to get an interview with them.
Oh, they'll find Stu.
Let's hope so.
The infamous Stu.
Let's hope so. That'd be nice. And of course the assorted, football legends and, other folks that will be out there doing interviews. It's going to be interesting because, like last year, there was a Radio Row, but there were very few outlets there because nobody wanted to fly all the way to Tampa Bay just to do a bunch of Zoom calls, me included.
Yeah.
I mean, I did a reverse Radio Row right here at the worldwide headquarters. So, now they're going to have it. I'll be interested to see how many outlets are there, because usually Radio Row, you can count on.
Oh, that's a lot.
In the neighborhood of 200 radio stations and outlets. I
want to see who proposes to Joe Burrow.
Well, we won't have that chance. There's no media day.
What?
No media day. No opening night. No media day. Oh. I think the schedule right now. I saw something. Of course, the Rams are there. The Bengals get into town. I want to say on Thursday of next week, Wednesday or Thursday of next week. So they're only there like a few days.
I say if they're smart, they go early. But then again, it's Ohio, so who knows?
Well, that's the thing. But so they're only there for a few days. So no opening night, no media day opportunity. And that was always fun to, it's kind of fun to man and do. And, now granted, when they stopped doing them in the stadiums and started taking them to the like basketball arenas and hockey arenas, it got a little crowded down there because you're talking about 5,000-6,000 media members with the players on basically like a basketball court or a hockey rink, and it was a little crowded.
And I could see them actually doing that at SoFi because the Forum was right across the street. Right.
Or it's now Crypto.com Arena.
No, that's the Staples Center.
Oh, Staples Center.
Yeah, Staples is crypto.
Yeah. So I don't know.
I don't want to call it either one. I mean, is Staples worse than crypto? I mean, we're used to Staples, but it really was office supplies.
Yeah, I'm there with you. So anyway, no media day. We'll see. I've heard there is one in-person media availability. That'll probably be for like the pool reporters or maybe those that are like at the practices for each team.
You still have to be like 20 feet away at least.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, it's gonna be really upsetting if one of these guys comes down with COVID next week.
Oh.
I mean.
Yeah. I mean, we're having. I mean, like, I've already had to attest that I've gotten my shots. I got my booster. Mm-hmm. Apparently I think there's going to be something where you can get like the rapid antigen test. That way you can take your mask off at the media and on Radio Row, because right now Los Angeles County is under indoor mask mandate. So,
but man, with that many people around, why would you want
to? Yeah, it's weird. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I just finally got my my 4 tests.
Oh yeah, I got mine too
from the government. Got those in today.
Got my test. I got my free masks. I had to go to get a prescription filled,
and from the state.
Not the federal government. Yeah, you go to a provider like here in Austin, it's HEB or Walgreens or CVS or something, and they're supposed to have you get like 3 N95 masks free. Know that. You just ask for them.
Oh. Well, I have to go to HEB after this.
Yeah,
just to stock up on supplies for the coming freeze.
Man, I went today. I went at noon today. Oh my God! I mean, last year really got some people.
Yeah.
Because that place was nuts at noon today.
Yeah, I wish I had gone earlier. I didn't think about it this morning.
And the freeze isn't expected for another 24, 36 hours.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it was crowded. And I was just getting a couple of things. And I got some stuff to make chili for Thursday, which, took a couple of things. No big deal. So, but yeah, it was nuts.
I don't even know what I need. I meant to make a shopping list when I got home after work today, but what I did instead was I started plugging in my emergency supplies. my giant battery, my phone bank, my headlamp, my flashlight / lantern, my my candle lighter.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and I get that. That's it makes sense and all.
Then I had a burger.
And you had a burger. Well, that's good. I think I've got plenty of stuff I got candles. I got, I think it'll be fine.
Yeah, I think one of the worst parts last year was having to go to bed at like 7 o'clock because it was pitch black in my apartment.
Oh, see, I felt bad for you and Justin, because I never lost electricity, and allegedly they shut off the water in the building on purpose to prevent breakages. Mm-hmm. But I'm not sure they did, because like my toilet could at least run, So, so anyway, it's gonna be really cold here starting like tomorrow night.
Yeah, cold and
going into at least Saturday morning. Like it's not expected to get above freezing until Saturday morning.
Yeah, hopefully I think it's only supposed to be wet Thursday.
Hopefully, well. See, that's the thing. We don't know what kind of, if it's wet or if it's frozen.
Exactly.
So we're supposed to get more rain tomorrow, and then whatever's on the ground is going to freeze overnight. Wednesday night into Thursday, plus whatever, we might get a little more precip. We'll see. So
I'm basically shutting down my office on Thursday, but of course, all of a sudden, I got people that want to come in on Friday to get stuff done. I'm like, you people. All right, let me see if I can give. They must be Packers fans because they're
give Mr. Barrasso a phone call real quick, and we will get going.
Right.
Stu.
Justin, how are you, man?
I'm well, thanks. How are you?
I'm good. Say hi to Eddie Cross, who's filling in for Justin Simmons tonight.
How you doing, Justin?
I'm good. I can't hear. Let me try something. I can't hear you guys too well. Let me try. What am I doing wrong?
I don't know. What are you doing wrong?
How about now? Can I hear you guys now?
We hear you just fine.
Can you hear me now?
It's so faint on my end. Can I try something and call right back?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Call me right back. All right.
And I'm looking forward to that fight.
And this is UFC 271.
Yeah. Whitaker versus Adesanya 2 for the middleweight title.
Middleweight title.
At the Toyota Center.
And when's that?
February 12th.
Okay, so in 2 weeks.
Night before the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Should be a good one.
Yeah.
By the way, congratulations to Francis Ngannou, now the UFC heavyweight champion, right?
Still UFC heavyweight champion. Yeah. The UFC didn't even need to make an interim title. Ngannou just wanted to fight a month later than they wanted him to fight.
Yeah.
But they wanted a title on this card in Houston, so they made an interim title.
Okay, well.
Now, I had picked Cyril Gane to beat Ngannou. He surprised us all.
Justin, you care?
All right. I think this is working better.
Okay, good. All right. I'm going to hit the intro, and I'll bring you right in, okay?
Stu, is there any way? I don't know. It's just so faint on my end. Is there any way? I can't turn the volume up any louder on my end. Can you guys keep talking?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Let me try something. Hold on.
Yeah, I had picked Cyril Gane to beat Ngannou just because I saw how tough he was when he fought Derek Lewis.
I don't know. I'll do it. Just it's the Lewis. No. I'll do my best.
All right. Say again because you broke up a little bit. Justin?
Hello? Well, that was me.
Justin, can you hear me?
Deliver?
I heard you, but you broke up.
Ooh, that sounds bad.
Hold on. It's really breaking up. Let me call you back, okay?
Third time's going to be a charm.
Third time is going to be the charm, we think. Let's see. All right, let's try this one more time.
Third time's a charm. How do you sound? How do I sound?
You sound great.
Much better.
You sound great. How do we sound?
Like there's a large distance between us. It's so weird that I can't hear you that well. I'm on speaker. I'm off speaker. It makes no difference. But say a little more, and I just want to see how much I can catch. Because if I can catch it all, I'll be ready to go.
Okay, well.
There it is. That's perfect. Yes, that's it.
Okay.
All right.
You're loud and clear.
Okay, well, good. It may have been the cable. Maybe in a cable. Maybe it was loose. All right, so you're good to go?
Perfect.
Right.
I didn't say hi to your co-host, but good evening.
How you doing?
That's Eddie.
Good.
All right, we're going to do a quick intro, and we'll bring you right on, okay?
Thank you.
All right, here we go.
This is James J. Dillon, the leader of the original Four Horsemen and the holder of 2 Hall of Fame rings, and you're listening to the Sports Guys Talking Wrestling.
When they're not covering the sports world, they're talking about the world of professional wrestling. It's Sports Guys Talking Wrestling. Now, here's Stu Myrick.
It is Sports Guys Talking Wrestling on the Horn. Stu Myrick. Justin the Smash Simmons out doing play-by-play duties tonight. So we bring in the what'd you call yourself? The what?
Sidearm righty?
The sidearm righty. You just heard him fresh off of fight night. He is Eddie Cross. What's up, Eddie?
How you doing, Stu?
I'm good. So we had Royal Rumble this weekend, this past Saturday. Interesting show. I'll give it that.
There were some things.
There were some things, and to help us talk all about all those things, we bring on the Vaqueros Cafe and Cantina hotline, lead wrestling writer for Sports Illustrated. He is Justin Barrasso. Follow him on Twitter at Justin Barrasso. How you doing, Justin?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me part of the show. I'm always thrilled to be part of it.
Man, we're always thrilled to have you on. So, give me your overall grade for Royal Rumble, because I've heard people call this like the worst Royal Rumble ever. I didn't think it was that bad. What did you think?
I'm with you. I thought it was. I mean, I like the Rumble match anyway. I think it's tough to have 2 Rumbles in one night because no matter who comes second, it's just they're both the women went about 59 minutes, the men went a little bit less than 51. It was a long night. It was a 4-hour show. I give it a B-. I mean, I think it was predictable. If we're talking both of them, I thought the women's had some fun moments. I think once Ronda came out, it was very predictable. Once Brock came out, it was very predictable. But I mean, I'll go B-.
Okay, and that's kind of the way I felt. I think that was part of it. I think the whole show was quite predictable because we knew a few weeks out that they were gonna, whatever they had planned for day one with Brock and Roman, they were gonna do it at the Royal Rumble. We knew that. I think the only thing we didn't know was would Brock keep the WWE Championship or would Bobby Lashley win it? But I think that kind of falls into that whole we did know they were going to do something to try to screw him over or whatever. So maybe that had something to do with it. I don't think as much as I love what Seth Rollins is doing, I don't think anybody believed Seth was going to win the title.
Though I love by the end of the aftermath, I thought maybe he'll be the guy to dethrone Roman. I liked that match a lot. I didn't initially like the finish until we saw it play out. Stu, another problem with the men's Rumble I thought there was an issue was, and it's symbolic, I know, because Christian was in it last year and he's no longer with the company, for instance, but Shane McMahon doesn't need to be in the Final Four. And I get the Bad Bunny thing. Maybe you want Bad Bunny because it's a good relationship. I don't think he needs to be in the Final Four either. It doesn't mean that Big E is going to have 3 more title runs in 2022. But and maybe it's just symbolic. I would have had my guys in the Final Four. I would have had AJ Styles there. I would have had Big E there. I just think that was a miss too. And since we were talking about the men's Rumble, once you open that, I know it's overused now, but once you open that, and I don't know if Tanahashi knew what he was doing when he said it, but once you open that forbidden door, the idea of it, well, of course that's going to lead to all kinds of speculation. Mm-hmm. And you're bringing in Mickie James. I thought they could have done a little bit more with the men for the life of me, and I'm fortunate enough to have a piece with them tomorrow on our Wednesday column. And I think if you're a wrestling fan, you know Sean Waltman in some iteration, whether it's the 1, 2, 3 Kid or X-Pac or Six, or he's a guy that would have been great. To me, there wasn't that creativity in the surprise star that we normally get.
Well, there were no surprises other than Bad Bunny on the men's side. Quite frankly, it was.
And is Shane a surprise? I don't know.
He might have been surprised. I'm not sure how desired he was. And you're right. He had no business being in the Final Four there. We had now. The reports were, at least leading into it, reports coming out of Sunday, was that, yes, Shane is, Shane's in the Rumble, and we're going to have him involved both at Elimination Chamber and at WrestleMania. Now we're hearing that may not be the case. He had some heat issues or whatever, because either he was trying to run the show and it didn't go well or whatever. Be that as may, and in symbolic Monday Night on Raw, he wasn't even on he was nowhere to be seen.
And I like Shane, and I thought he's played an integral role on camera. I thought they did a nice job with him and his father with Austin during the 25 years. That was at the Barclays, that part of it with Austin.
Right.
Shane's great, but I'm just not sure who's clamoring for a Shane O'Mac run in 2022. If someone is, I'd love to hear from them. But I don't know. I just don't see it. Again, it's a nice one-off. It's a nice little spot here and there in a match like a Rumble. But he wasn't going to win. I don't know. Him in the Final Four, to me, didn't make any sense. And the Rumble never had that moment where it picked up. Even when Big E came in the ring, it was kind of odd. He was kind of looking for somebody. Like the Rumble's great when you come in as a house of fire and you go after the first guy you see, or there's a backstory there. It was missing something. For better or for worse, I can name off a couple of Rumbles that I thought were significantly worse. But it wasn't the most impressive Rumble on Saturday night.
Yeah.
And it felt like just the way they got to everything was just kind of clunky. And if you're going to have someone come in and be a high spot machine, then you've already got Ricochet, you've got Kofi. And the way Kofi went out, I'm still not sure if that was supposed to happen or not. They just gave up when they actually saw that his foot hit. Was he supposed to jump back from the rail?
Yeah, which actually maybe it's a blessing in disguise. He must be tired of that spot. I mean, maybe he doesn't have to do it anymore. So maybe he can be they can allow him to evolve a little more instead of just being that spot guy at the Rumble. Though obviously Kofi's done so much for them.
Yeah, and then
maybe it's a blessing in disguise.
And then in the women's Rumble, you bring in all these, let's say, Hall of Famers
or legends.
And then there's people like, I don't want to insult her, but like Cameron, who we haven't seen in how long?
Forever.
Yeah, but you've got all these NXT women who you could bring in, and maybe the crowd could get to know them a little more. But then you just bring in all these people who are coming in for, a minute, some 30 seconds. It was just clunky. And
there's still space for a Dakota Kai in there. And you can say the same with the men. Bronson Rex, Braun Breaker. Where's he?
Yeah.
Where's Tommaso Ciampa? And if there's supposed to be synergy with the NXT product and the main roster, I mean, they're teaming together, right? Ciampa and Breaker. So what a great chance for those two to maybe have some, I mean, we've seen enough dissension, but some teamwork together in the Rumble. I get why you don't want Walter or Gunther in there because Omos is your giant. So I get that. Right. But I would have loved to see the NXT champion.
Well,
or Dakota Kai or Cora Jade or
Mandy
Kelly
Rose.
Gonzalez or, the list goes on and on. Io Shirai, the list goes on and on.
Well, and I think, and I've heard a lot of talk about this, and I think it kind of speaks to what NXT is now as opposed to, back in the Triple H era, in the black and gold era. NXT now is purely developmental. They don't, I got the sense they don't want any, they don't want to see NXT wrestlers showing up on Raw or SmackDown outside of the weird appearance by Von Wagner on SmackDown, or you had Grayson Waller show up on Raw just so he could get that feud going with AJ Styles. So
another guy who could have benefited from a Rumble spot. Yeah,
you would think.
And who suffers those two? If Tommaso, even if it is your developmental brand, Tommaso Ciampa, who's a 2-time NXT champ, is your Iron Man on Saturday night. Who suffers from that? To me, NXT looks good. It's not bad for the main roster because you've got some story there. If he ever comes to Raw or SmackDown, potential story. But I don't know. It just seemed like a lack. And again, I think clunky was a nice way to put it. Maybe a lack of vision too. Saturday wasn't their best night. Again, I don't think it was the worst, but it wasn't their best night.
Well, part of it, and you can speak to this, I think part of it was the lack of weaving in storylines. One of the great things about the Royal Rumble is that you'll see kind of these miniature little snippets of storyline that get woven into the Royal Rumble. Like, for instance, when Cameron came in, you were going to have Naomi there, kind of that Funkadactyl reunion. You mentioned when Big E came out and he seemed lost. I think that's because he was expecting Kofi to be in there, and when Kofi botched that spot, well, he's not there. So now Big E kind of has to go solo on it. But they just seem to find a way to work in those the storylines we're seeing on Raw and SmackDown. They'll work those into the Rumble in little snippets, and we didn't see a lot of that on Saturday night.
It's a great point. I mean, and you think of Jake Roberts and Randy Savage. There's so many feuds in the Rumble where you got to get that guy or got to get that person. I can't think of one moment like that. Or even, I'm referencing the same Rumble, but the Flair one in '92, right? But Flair's by himself in the ring and Piper comes out. Things like that where, there was genuine dislike and storyline. And they were missing some of that. And that speaks to me less the performers and more the product, because you need that story in order for these things to work. Most of the pay-per-views work well anyway, just because the wrestlers are so damn talented and they've got the best roster in the world. But I think that lack of story bit them on Saturday night.
Well, they did give us Johnny Knoxville versus Sami Zayn.
All right, I will give that a little bit. So
the Knoxville spot was fun. That's what
was.
Shane could have been. Obviously, a little bit longer. Shane's much different than Johnny Knoxville. Not to necessarily compare the two, but come in, do a couple spots, and get out. Like Knoxville, to me, that was well done.
It was well done. I mean, Shane McMahon with the worst strikes in wrestling history. He needed to have that kind of 1 minute come in, throw a bunch of really bad strikes, and then get tossed, that type of thing. So, we talked about the predictability, and it was Brock and Ronda. All right, fine, whatever. And we've heard the whispers about how there was, I guess morale may not have been as good backstage on Saturday and all that good stuff. You go to Monday, and Brock wants to challenge Bobby for the WWE title. He's gonna be in the Elimination Chamber. Do you see a scenario that sees Brock coming out of the Elimination Chamber without the championship, without him looking weak?
Before I answer that, I think, and I'm a Bobby Lashley fan. I like, what he does in the ring. It's always been a pleasure covering him. I am amazed that creative couldn't have found a better way to have Bobby win the title.
Oh my God! Yes.
Yeah, he was the third part of a two-piece story. Now the bottom line is he's a two-time WWE champion. He's going to run with that, and he's building his resume, right? He's
right.
Carving out his legacy. And not everyone wins the title in dramatic fashion. I get it, but I didn't particularly love the way Lashley won the belt against The Miz the first time. I liked it less the second time with the Brock thing. But I just thought they could have had a really cool moment. You could still get Roman involved, but it still could have been a cooler moment. And again, that hurts the product. You could still protect Brock and make Bobby look great. I mean, everyone benefits.
They could have at least had him hit a spear or put Brock in the hurt lock to get the actual win instead of just rolling
absolutely.
Him over. Yeah.
Well, some kind of creativity.
So now like I said, you fast forward to Elimination Chamber. How does Brock come out of Elimination Chamber? Does he come out as the champion? Does he come out without the title but still looking strong? And if so, how does he do that?
I think the benefit is it's a multi-man, so you can do a lot. And Brock can maybe hide at times or do a big spot that puts him out. Or, I mean, I know it's not supposed to happen, but why should we apply logic to pro wrestling?
Yeah.
Roman could always get in, right? He could always get in and cost him the match somehow. Or
right. Heyman could screw him somehow.
Yeah, the basic question is who's going to pin Austin Theory?
But I still think, and I don't have this confirmed, I'd be surprised if it wasn't Edge at Mania. But time will tell. I think it's his time. He did the thing with with Beth Phoenix and The Miz, and that was good. But it's time to go for the world title. I think that's the next stop. I don't think Bobby is champion beyond Mania, but I think he does last through Mania as champion.
Okay, so you're saying Bobby Lashley versus Edge at Mania?
Yes.
Okay, that's interesting. I'll be interested to see how that would play out between now and then. You also had, in probably the most predictable match, Becky Lynch beats Doudrop, retains the Raw Women's Championship. Yeah. And, leading up to Royal Rumble, everybody thought that with the news about Ronda Rousey coming back, she would win the Rumble. She's going to challenge Becky. Then, as soon as the Rumble was over, it switched. Ronda's going to challenge Charlotte. So then what happens to Becky now? And Lita, of all people, the Hall of Famer, comes out. She's going to challenge Becky Lynch at Elimination Chamber. And I may have taken a leave of my senses, but there was something about that encounter on Monday night that made me think Lita could actually make it out of Saudi Arabia with the Raw Women's title.
What?
What do you say?
Anything is possible. I would hope not. I think that I like what they've done with Becky's title reign. I didn't like the way she won it. I thought SummerSlam, it didn't ruin a great moment at Mania, but for whatever reason, they took a shot at trying to. Mania was such a great moment when Bianca won the belt. Why would you ever want to take anything away from that? She can lose, but I don't know why you'd want to do it in 7 seconds or whatever that finish was. I like how they've had Liv Morgan and Doudrop back-to-back with Becky. Credible challengers. I know you said that Doudrop wasn't going to win that belt, but they had a 13-minute match where Doudrop got a ton of offense, and I thought she looked good. And I know that, again, I know Becky was going over, but the presentation I thought was beneficial to both of them. So you're kind of going in a different direction with Lita. I would hope if Becky's not working a triple threat in one of those main events at Mania with Charlotte and Ronda, which to me is the money move. Why not just do it again? Especially that match. I'm sure they'd love another crack at it and to do it differently and do it again. And I love a good Mania a rematch, and that has the potential to be great. But if you're going to go a different direction, why not go with one of your stars? Right. Why not go with Bianca? Why not go with Becky and Sasha work extraordinarily well together? Why not go Sasha? I'd rather see Sasha Becky than I would Charlotte Ronda. What do you do with Bianca? Again, there's just, to me, I would like to think it's a one-off for Saudi, that match, because they bring in older stars, which we've seen with Goldberg and Taker and a few others, but I would be disappointed if that were the Mania creative.
Yeah, I agree. I think so. And yeah, you're right. The Doudrop and Becky Lynch match, it was fine. I think it got taken away from by the fact they had to lower the sign, the WrestleMania sign, to put, because it was on fire, and they had to put it out, raise it back up, and I think that took the crowd's attention away from it and everything. So
worst part of the card too. Even if that hadn't happened, you just had the Women's Rumble. So emotions are high. It's a 59-minute match. Yeah, I mean that's a tough spot even on a good circumstance. Then you have the chaos with the sign, debris falling from it. Yeah, and classic Becky. She said it was her line. She's so hot she melts the Mania sign. So good for her. That's a true pro, right? Can make
absolutely
something out of nothing.
Absolutely. This was reported last week. So WrestleMania week this year, is going to include NXT in Dallas, which, as far as I know, I think this might be their first trip outside of Orlando since the whole NXT 2.0 reboot. And I think the whispers right now, it could be a matinee on that Saturday before WrestleMania Night 1. This isn't the black and gold that could still sell out most arenas.
If that happens, it's got a real high school feel to it, doesn't it?
Oh my God, it's got to be like a
let the kids play at halftime.
Yeah, it's going to be yeah. I mean, it's just because, and this is something that I had mentioned last week. The big problem with NXT as it is now is that, NXT before Black and Gold with Triple H and everything, when you brought in new talent, you were bringing in talent that had a following because they were on the indies, or they were in Ring of Honor, or they were Impact, or whatever. So you had that built-in audience for that superstar, whether it was Keith Lee or Roderick Strong or Adam Cole or any of those.
Shinsuke Nakamura, Samoa Joe, veterans, Bobby Roode. Yes. I mean, these weren't new talents either. Still.
Right. So, they're new to NXT, but they had their fan base coming with them to NXT. Now you've got NXT 2.0 with these college athletes and fitness models that they have plucked out of wherever and try to turn them into wrestlers with no following whatsoever, no fan base whatsoever. And I think that's a big part of why NXT 2.0 doesn't have the shine that it had back in the Black and Gold era. Am I far off on that?
Particularly when it's difficult when you present the Black and Gold era first, and then take it away. If you had never had that, if NXT was always what we see now, it is what it is. But the fact we know differently, and NXT was great. I mean, NXT gets a bad rap now because of how it finished, or how we. I'm talking like it's in past tense, but you know how they lost on Wednesday nights. I liked that show. I know it didn't rate as well as AEW's Dynamite, but that was a good old school show where each segment meant something. I really liked NXT, the Black and Gold era. And again, AEW has been so smart to take a lot of what works in NXT and bring it to AEW. But that was a cutting-edge product for years. When Jushin Liger worked that takeover in Brooklyn against Tyler Breeze, that was a big, I can't believe this type moment. Yeah. And now we see that in AEW with, Minoru Suzuki comes in and wrestles a match, and it's like, wow, I can't. But NXT was doing that. I mean, obviously, Jushin Liger's a legend too. They did some stuff that was very surprising, very cutting edge, very ahead of its time. I don't know if they'll get. I mean, they had Kevin Owens. They had, like you said, he had a following. They had Sami Zayn, Finn Balor. I mean, they had it's Sasha Banks, Bayley. They had. It's incredibly hard to follow that.
Yeah.
And then to go in a different direction, I don't know. It feels like we're watching a Raw from '94, or sometimes the colors, the colorful aspect of it. I feel like I'm watching a Saturday Morning Superstars from 1993. But it's different. And if that's what they want, that's what they want. But and I've heard maybe they shouldn't have gone for head to head with AEW. I'm glad they did. I love that. It was great everywhere. I mean, both weeks, both shows were fun. I liked the head-to-head aspect. I thought it made AEW maybe change directions on some things that made them move at accelerate at a different pace. And it made their product better for it. I liked NXT. It's just so odd now to think of Adam Cole. He's an AEW superstar, AEW star, or Kyle O'Reilly was being primed to be the next NXT champion. He's there. Yeah. Johnny Gargano's off the NXT brand and not on the main roster. It's just upside down from where we were 2 years ago. I will say, I'll say one of the highlights for me. I'm off track now.
That's okay.
Didn't take that long, but
that's okay.
Shayna Baszler. I would love her to work more closely with. Finally, if I'm Shayna, what an opportunity to be able to work with Ronda. And I love Shayna Baszler. I think her stuff's so realistic and so authentic, and she really lost out by not having that moment at Raymond James with Becky Lynch in front of a major crowd. Even if she loses that match, it's a great moment. The build was pretty, besides the biting incident, was pretty good. I'd love to see her work. I don't know if she can be the muscle for Ronda because Ronda's tough, or what you do with those two. But I think you have to pair them together. I'd love to see more Shayna, especially if Charlotte and Becky are involved and they're not in sync, real life and storyline. Well, you'd have this great story between Shayna and Ronda. So I hope we see more of her, and I hope again, for people who, there's another NXT star who just, they can't find anything to do with her on the main roster. I don't know. I'm off track again.
That's okay.
I hope to see more of that.
I get it, and I think they have done. I don't think they have done right by Shayna Baszler that much. They need to have done a whole lot more with her. So I get that. Real quick, couple things before we go. Number one, it may be a one time only, it'll never happen again, but how cool was it to see Mickie James coming out there to hardcore country, sporting that Impact Wrestling Knockouts World Championship belt around her waist as she comes out to the Royal Rumble? How cool was that?
It was great. It was following up well, too. It wasn't like she was dumped over the other side of the ring as soon as she came in. And I like the fact that Lita was the one to eliminate her. A little history there. Yeah. I wouldn't have minded if it was Rhea Ripley or someone else, if it meant something. But I liked it. Yeah, it was fun. If anybody's a pro's pro, it's Mickie. I think she's earned that moment. And it's pretty cool to put a spotlight on what she's doing. And it helps whoever it is that wins that belt next. So it's I don't want to say it's unlike WWE, but it is in a sense that they're not in the pro wrestling business. They're in the WWE business. So to do something like that's going to benefit whoever Mickie drops the title to, which I like about that, whoever that is, whether it's Deanna or someone else on the Impact roster. But I thought it was a great moment too.
I think so. I agree. Oh, by the way, quick breaking news. Veer Mahaan still coming to Raw. So they go. Okay. Over under. We will see Veer Mahaan before WrestleMania.
I'll take the post Monday Raw.
So you'll take the Raw after Mania.
At this point, why bring him in?
Yeah, I guess you're right. He is Justin Barrasso. Follow him on Twitter at Justin Barrasso and read all of his stuff in Sports Illustrated on SI.com. Justin, man, I appreciate you. Be well. Have a great rest of your week, and we'll talk again soon.
Guys, thank you so much. Always a pleasure. The Weekend Wrestling column's out tomorrow with Sean Waltman. He talks about his return match. I'll have content up on Thursday and Friday as well. So it'll be a busy rest of the week. And thanks to all who read. And thanks to you guys. It's always fun to come on and talk a little bit about the best thing in the world, a little pro wrestling. So thank you very much.
That's right. Thanks, Justin. Talk to you soon.
Thanks, guys.
Bye-bye. Man, he's good.
Yeah.
I got to meet him a couple times. It was at Starcast, the first Starcast, and seeing him at a couple of WrestleManias. He's so good, and it's sports in kind of sports centric because it is Sports Illustrated. I think he also covers baseball. So good to chat with Justin and such a
perfect guest for us.
He's great.
Guys
Yes, he's so good. Like I said, follow him on Twitter at Justin Barrasso. We're gonna take a quick time out. When we come back, talk a little AEW. Right after the break, you're listening to Sports Guys Talking Wrestling on the Horn.
How does Grayson Waller have a guy before Veer Mahaan shows up?
Grayson Waller has a bodyguard.
I'm assuming Indian fella.
And he has attacked LA Knight. So LA Knight's going to lose by count out.
Yeah, this guy debuted. So, we're going to go ahead and say long before Veer.
Oh, God, yeah.
Well, re-debuts, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, no, he made it out and gets clotheslined by Joe Gacy. Cut cover, 1, 2, 3. Joe Gacy wins. Thanks to Grayson Waller. I forget the guy's name, but then again, I'm surprised I knew Grayson Waller's name. So,
I did not think this gimmick of his was going to go anywhere when it first started.
It's not bad, and that's the thing.
It's not, yeah.
The gimmicks aren't bad. It's just there's no background to these
got
guys.
Nothing built
Prior to NXT, I'm pretty sure Grayson Waller was not like an indie wrestler.
No.
Some
kind of
same
reality
thing
star.
with a lot of these other guys. There's no following. There's no built-in fan base that can follow that person to NXT. So
and they've been on TV for such a short time.
Yeah.
That
so
you just don't have anything invested in.
Right. It's like why? Yeah, you don't. And then on top of that, here in the last few weeks, they keep having main roster stars. They've had AJ Styles. Allegedly, they're teasing getting Dolph Ziggler to show up. I mean, it's just been. I don't know. It's like I said. It's just there. If they get 5,000 for that stand and deliver during WrestleMania weekend in Dallas, I'll be shocked.
Where are they having it?
I haven't heard. I haven't heard what venue. It can't be.
Oh, it can't be big. No,
can't be like the AAC or something like that. No. It's got to be some some small arena or something. I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, good stuff from Justin Barrasso. We got Daddy's Girl.
And the Sleepy Girl.
I still don't get that.
Such an Orange Cassidy ripoff.
Well, that's it. It's kind of like that, but in a way, it's not.
Well, they took it further, definitely. But the idea came about by seeing Orange Cassidy.
I guess.
His lack of attitude, I guess.
I guess so. All right, let's do number 2 here, and let's get going. Gotta mute you. We'll be right back. Promise.
I thought we were still on.
Back here on Sports Guys Talking Wrestling. Stu Myrick, 80 Cross from Fight Night. All right, let's talk a little AEW because, they've been doing a lot of fun things here lately.
Well, you know what I heard?
What's that?
That a certain Bearcat, his 90 days is up.
His 90 days up. Let's see.
I heard it's Wednesday.
Is it this Wednesday? Did he get released in October?
I just saw it on Twitter earlier today.
And he's not Bearcat. He's Keith Lee. He is the Limitless one.
And he actually, trademarked Limitless. So
he did file for the trademark for Limitless because he is Limitless. Love Keith to death.
One of my top 5 Aggies.
Maybe we'll see him. So this week on AEW, if you're listening to us, if you're watching us on YouTube and Twitch, great. If you are listening to us on the Horn, by the time you hear this, the match will have already happened. But MJF, CM Punk in Chicago.
Finally.
All right. So I'm going to ask you pros and cons. The pro, or I guess the benefit of having MJF suffer a pinfall loss at the hands of CM Punk in Chicago.
The benefit, well, it's what the people want to see.
It's what the people want to see.
And in everything you got to do, you got to play the hits. You got to give people what they want. You didn't bring CM Punk back just to job him out left and right.
And AEW does that as much as anybody.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go the other way. MJF conquers, defeats, pins CM Punk in Chicago.
Is it wrong that the thought of that just makes me smile? Because there'll be so much more that will happen if MJF wins this match. The trash talking. It feels it can take it more places.
Yeah, it can. It can. I get the feeling, and again, we're doing this on Tuesday nights. So, like as I said, if you're listening to us on the Horn, we know what happened. But I get the feeling there is a way they can have CM Punk win, but MJF looks strong. I have a feeling part of it might involve Wardlow.
I was going to say, is it finally time for the
Wardlow finally turns on MJF?
Yeah.
I think if that happens, there you go. That's how you do it.
Agreed.
So I don't know. I mean, it's going to be a hell of a match. CM Punk, fantastic wrestler. MJF is actually a fantastic wrestler.
Yeah.
Much as it pains me to say.
I've never met
many times as he ripped off my headset and called me names when he was working Inspire. Actually, MJF's a good guy.
The funny part is Tony Schiavone hates him like just as much as you.
Tony is he's so good. He is so good.
And really, I
love
MJF
Schiavone.
should be giving Becky Lynch lessons on how to be a real heel.
Man.
Yeah.
So next week, and I think they're in Atlantic City, New Jersey next week for Dynamite and probably for Rampage as well. Hangman Adam Page will defend the AEW World Championship against the Murder Hawk Monster Lance Archer in a Texas death match.
Texas death match in New Jersey.
Now, Lance has already been through a few of these, most notably with Jon Moxley.
Yeah.
When they were fighting over the IWGP United States Heavyweight Championship in New Japan Pro Wrestling. I love Lance to death. He's not winning the title.
Yeah.
I don't know if he'll be by disqualification or whatever. I wouldn't think so because that's going to make Hangman look a little weak. So then it's got to be Hangman finds a way to pin Lance Archer.
But it's still getting to the point where it seems like they're wasting some of these guys. Like, we haven't seen Lance Archer in a few months.
Right. Well, they kind of
comes back right in the title picture.
Well, I think part of it might be they've had what's his name? from America's Top Team, Dan Lambert,
Oh yeah.
Siding with Archer and Jake.
Mm-hmm.
And for some reason, I get the sneaky suspicion that Dan Lambert might play into the decision, either by accident or on purpose, cost Lance the match.
Okay, so maybe he cost Lance the title on accident, which leads to Lance feuding with the Men of the Year.
Possibly with either Ethan Page or Scorpio Sky or both.
Whatever gets them on TV.
Because Scorpio Sky's been talking, hey, he deserves a title shot. He's still undefeated.
Yeah.
So that's very possible. I get that. It's going to be a great match, nonetheless. Last week we had the lights out unsanctioned match with Adam Cole and Orange Cassidy, and by Adam Cole I mean so Adam Cole, and they make it out of the ring pretty early, and Cole sends Orange Cassidy into the guardrail. Adam Cole goes under the ring, pulls out a chair. He's having a hard time pulling out the chair.
Under the ring. Yeah.
Finally gets the chair out. Who's on the other end? Danhausen. Very nice. Very evil. Now, I have seen a little bit of Danhausen.
That was my introduction.
I think he is hilarious. He's in that same vein as Orange Cassidy or Jervis Cottonbelly or one of those. He's a great wrestler, but the gimmick is so much better.
And I heard that somehow he got the idea for his gimmick from Conan O'Brien.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I saw something about a podcast. I got to go back and listen to it.
But anyway, and apparently Danhausen is now all elite. Evil. Very, very AEW. A report has Riho expecting to miss 3 months due to a broken collarbone. And she's tiny as it is.
I guess I'm surprised that doesn't happen more often.
She's one of those Joshi wrestlers from Japan where they don't pull anything. They go at it pretty strong.
Yeah.
So the fact that, it hadn't happened sooner.
Especially with all those matches with Nyla Rose.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Like, it's just shocking that she lasted this long.
Yeah. Nyla's supposed to be going after Ruby Soho, which that'll be a fun match.
Yeah.
I think it will be. You gotta believe it's getting close to time for Britt Baker to drop the women's championship. I think a lot of people feel like it's going to be Thunder Rosa, which, hey, that'd be great.
That would be great.
I love Thunder Rosa to death. For some reason, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it's going to be Thunder Rosa or if it's going to be Ruby Soho or somebody.
Well, it's like she's not in the middle of anything right now. So it's kind of up in the air.
It is up in the air. And I'm kind of blank. I mean, you got Nyla Rose, you got Thunder Rosa, Chris Statlander. She could be a possibility, I guess.
Serena Deeb.
Yeah, that would be.
But
although
that's heel
right
versus
now,
heel,
yeah,
though.
and AEW doesn't usually do the heel versus heel thing. So it probably won't be Serena Deeb. It could be. I don't know. I'm trying to go through the
roster in your head.
Yeah, roster in my head, and I'm not coming up with too many right now that I could see be a legitimate could take the title from Britt. And Britt has been on fire since she's been champion. I mean, and a lot of people have joked that she is one of the 4 pillars.
Dude, her promo in Cincy last week was amazing.
Yeah.
She came out in all the Steelers gear.
Yeah.
And then they gave her that Steelers flag on the way out.
Yeah, she loves herself some Pittsburgh. That's for
Are you
sure.
paying attention, Becky? This is real heel heat.
Real heel heat, yeah. So it'll be interesting to see. Jade Cargill made her first title defense last week on Rampage.
Not a good match.
Defeated Julia Hart. There's been some talk that Julia Hart is eventually going to become part of the what do they call it? The House of Black.
Oh.
You know, she's got the eye patch. She's still wearing the eye patch.
Mm-hmm.
She has been her usual perky cheerleader self, coming out with the Varsity Blondes, and you wonder if they're doing the slow burn to make her part of the House of Black.
I could see how that would happen.
Put her,
and I would appreciate the slow burn.
Put her with Brody King and Malachi Black.
Yeah. All of a sudden, she dyes her hair.
Yeah. Well, she goes all goth on you.
Just don't do tattoos.
Yeah.
She gets Cody Rhodes tattoo on her neck like this.
Which, by the way, and I'm thrilled for Brody King. I remember he was doing dark matches for Wrestle Circus.
Really?
When Wrestle Circus was really going, he was working dark matches.
Wow. And
now look at him. He's been a Ring of Honor tag team champion, been NWA tag team champion. He's been been killing it on the indie scene. He and Malachi, I think they're the Pro Wrestling Guerrilla tag team champions. The Black Throne or something.
Kings of the Black Throne?
Kings of the Black Throne, that's right.
Yeah, let's pick a longer name, guys. How about that?
So couldn't be happier for Brody King getting his shot in AEW. Like you said, Keith Lee, his 90-day no-compete should be ending pretty soon. So who knows, we may see him join up with the band of All Elite.
I mean, if we're really, really lucky, he'll buy the rights to the music.
Well, he's got his own music.
Yeah,
he's got his own. Now,
the last thing that we heard before the Bearcat crap
was it was the CFO $, whatever. They had done the theme that was being used in NXT, and then when WWE cut them, they said, "Well, okay, fine, you don't have the rights to any of this." So, but Keith has his own theme. Now, whether he uses it there or if he's got something else, or if Mikey Ruckus writes something else for him, I don't know.
As long as he's back
they
wrestling.
I promise this, he won't have the same problems that he did in WWE.
No,
with the music.
No,
and he won't be showing up in a
period.
stupid tennis skirt or a singlet.
Tennis skirt. You know, I was watching Otis Monday night, and all I could think in my head was, "This is what they wanted Keith Lee to be." Also, my other thought was, with the new blonde beard growing in, Otis kind of reminds me of like Dick Murdoch or someone, and I could see where
a little
he could be good at that.
A little, I guess. I'm not.
He's got a very old school look with his beard.
Yeah,
I can see it.
I guess so. I don't know, but yeah. I just wish. I mean, because I go with who was it? They call it. Maybe it was Randy Orton. Called him a walking thumb.
Yeah.
They're
really pushing the tree trunk thing.
That's kind of what he's been, and I'd like to see more personality. I think it was bad to just make him some, cold-hearted heel.
And Vince Young only allows fat guys to be jokes.
I mean, Vince McMahon.
What'd I say?
You said Vince Young. Last time I checked, the former quarterback of the Texas Longhorns does not book for WWE.
He'd do a better job. But Vince McMahon will only allow fat guys to be jokes or monsters.
Yeah,
they can't just be like normal people with personalities that are intricate and complex.
That's right.
Either a joke or you're a monster.
We're going to take a quick time out. When we come back, I'll let you know what's happening in independent wrestling around the area. You're listening to Sports Guys Talking Wrestling, and you're listening to The Horn, where Austin talks wrestling.
Vince Young.
Now, he's been to WWE shows because Mark Henry would acknowledge him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's somebody. I got to get Mark back on soon.
He would have done a better job of booking Keith Lee than Vince McMahon did.
Mark Henry? Yeah.
Mark or Vince Young.
Yeah. Yeah, Mark Henry would have. Yeah.
But Vince Young, him too. But look at Mark Henry, and I don't want to call him fat, but he was either Sexual Chocolate, Banging Mae Young, or House of Pain.
Or House of Pain, yeah.
Now, House of Pain was really over, and he did a great job, won titles. But I'm saying you can't be just like a normal guy with a personality.
Yeah.
A la like Seth Rollins or something. You know?
I get you. So, oh man, all right. Let's knock out this third one.
Even Dusty and the Polka Dots. God. Polka Dots, God. Sheesh.
Hold on, let me make some.
Okay, I haven't seen her.
What the hell? I guess we're gonna get another.
I ain't complaining though.
It's a new. It's a.
It's a new.
It's another new. And apparently, she is daughter or girlfriend of a rocker. I don't know. Some new talent coming to WWE.
I mean, she's got the jeans.
She's wearing jeans.
No, that's a skirt with high,
Oh, is it?
with high leather boots.
She's kind of.
Oh, she's the rocker.
So she's a rocker.
Or a rapper.
Did you the young lady that was doing the concert last week on NXT,
Oh,
Odell J?
Ali J or something like that? Is she supposed
Okay,
to wrestle?
did you hear? I don't know. Thought maybe that's what this young lady's going to do, but I don't know if she
Definitely
seems like a
different person.
wrestler. Blonde girl, I
Yeah.
guess she is going to
Said
be a
ladies
wrestler.
better watch out.
Nikita Lyons.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm surprised they gave her a last name with it being
Yeah,
events
too.
booking. No, it's funny that Justin mentioned the color scheme and stuff. I want to remind him how I texted you, what is this 1993 in your house BS? Whatever.
Yeah, I know. It's just
But he just kept on talking. And I'm like, points moot now. Who's that? Oh, Dakota Kai.
Sarai and Dakota Kai.
Why does
Well,
Sarai-
Sarai has been.
She's doing like a
She was
schoolgirl
in
thing now?
NXT UK for a little bit, and she's a Joshi.
Yeah.
Now they've got her as like some Japanese schoolgirl who found a necklace that her grandmother gave her. Or something, I don't know.
I think it's the sun where her power comes from, or wasn't she like the warrior of the sun or something?
Sure.
Stu, you're my encyclopedia.
I don't know.
Encyclopedia Myrick.
All right, let's do this last segment. Back here on Sports Guys Talking Wrestling, Stu Myrick, Eddie Cross from Fight Night. You're saying they need a band on NXT?
For Chase U. They need to have a band up in the stands. Just a small, just like a 4-piece.
Sure.
Like playing his theme when he comes out.
We got a couple of cards, maybe. We got a couple of cards to talk about this weekend in independent wrestling. And we are going to start in Sherman, as always. Red River Wrestling presents Live Pro Wrestling Friday night at the Sherman Elks Lodge. Bell time 8 p.m. Ruthless Ryan Davis and be there. Gary J. Exodus Prime, Fly Def, and more. That's Red River Wrestling this Friday in Sherman. And then Game Changer Wrestling makes their periodic trip to Texas. They got 2 cards. Let's start Houston. Friday night, Fight Club 2 Houston. Friday night at the Houston Premier Arena. Bell time 8 p.m. AJ Gray, Mysterious Cube, Masco Dorada, the man formerly known as Grand Metalik, and Matt Tremont, one half of the GCW World Tag Team Champions. That's Game Changer Wrestling. Friday night in Houston. And then they travel up I-45 to Dallas for If I Die First, Saturday at the Athletic Zone in Dallas. Bell time 8 p.m. Speedball, Mike Bailey will be there. Jimmy Lloyd, Joey Janela, Allie Catch, and more. That's Game Changer Wrestling. Friday night in Houston, Saturday night in Dallas. And that's a look at independent wrestling around the area. Wherever you may be, go out and support independent wrestling. A couple notes before we get out of here. New Japan Pro Wrestling has announced a 4-date Hyper Battle Tour. This is their 50th anniversary. Wow. It will be in early April. So you'll be able to watch it on NJPW World. But 4 dates, Hyper Battle World. They've been having some problems with COVID still, so let's hope they get through that. Also, NWA, the National Wrestling Alliance, announcing the Crockett Cup is coming back.
Yes.
They had it in 2019. They were going to have it in 2020, but the pandemic got in the way, as it did in 2021. This year, Crockett Cup Tag Team Tournament, March 19th and 20th. It'll be at the Nashville, Tennessee Fairgrounds in Nashville. I assume it'll be available on Fight TV. They've already announced among the team, they've got 4 teams so far. La Rebellion, who are the current NWA World Tag Team Champions. The Briscoes, the current Ring of Honor World Tag Team Champions. And, oh, by the way, congratulations to Mark and Jay. The first inductees into the brand new Ring of Honor Hall of Fame.
Oh, very apropos.
12-time Ring of Honor World Tag Team Champions.
Times.
Been there practically since day one. So congratulations to the Briscoes. Them boys going in the hall.
Thought you were going to say they sold the chicken farm.
Eddie, tell everybody how they can find you on social media.
You can find us at Fight Night HCX on all platforms. You can find me at Eddie Experience, 1E in the middle. Go check us out. We just talked to the legendary ring announcer Michael Buffer. That was going to be pinned at the top of our Twitter for a while.
That will be. So, and that'll do it for this week's Sports Guy Talking Wrestling. You can follow Justin the Smash Simmons on Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch. He'll be back with me in a couple weeks. And, oh, by the way, I will be coming to you next week from Los Angeles as I anchor the Horns coverage of Super Bowl 56 Rams and Bengals. I'll be on Radio Row there at the LA Convention Center, so make sure you join me for that next week. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Stu Myrick. That's STEWMYRICK. You can follow the show on Twitter and Twitch at SGTWATX. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Sports Guys Talking Wrestling. We live stream on YouTube and Twitch most Tuesday nights, 7:30 p.m. Central, or you can catch us Wednesday nights at 9 p.m. Central on the flagship station for the Texas Longhorns. We are the Horn, 104.9 and 101.9 FM and AM 1260. You can also catch us anytime on demand by either going to hornfm.com and click on the On Air tab, or by subscribing to us on your favorite podcast provider. Make sure you rate and review us while you're there. Big thanks to Justin Barrasso from Sports Illustrated for joining us. Big thanks to you for giving us a little bit of your time tonight. For Eddie, I'm Stu. Thank you so much. We will see you at the matches.
Goodbye and good night. Bang!
And there we go.
All right.
Beautiful.
Imagine just a 4 or 6 piece band up there playing him in, and then he wins. They play him out every now and then just to distract the other guy. Like, what was that?
Slight problem. They do that already with the New Day. With what's the trombone's name?
Oh yeah, true, but we haven't seen it in a while. But
true. Well, because we haven't seen King Woods in a
Xavier's
while.
Out. Okay, forget the trombone. Every now and then, someone comes down with a saxophone, and he can use it in the match, bring someone over the head.
Meanwhile,
what happened to Mandy?
Mandy is, I don't know.
Break a heel?
Running for her life, and she's out of breath. She's got to get hydrated.
Somehow her face is going to end up in that cake right there. I guarantee it.
Yep. The cake is there. Oh, look, there's Kaylee Ray. The former. Oh no, she's going to get spaghettied.
Oh.
Ew.
It almost congealed too much.
Even better than the cake.
I prefer
but then we get the cake. There's the cake, and she slipped and she fell. Oh no!
Spaghetti sauce is dangerous.
Oh my God! Such shenanigans from the former NXT UK Women's Champion.
Oh, now they're just slinging spaghetti.
Oh, and now she got the baseball bat.
Run, Mandy.
Run, Mandy, run.
Why wasn't Mandy in the Rumble?
Well, I don't know. They had lots of people. Apparently, they had some of the folks backstage, but they just decided not to use them.
Electra Lopez could have been in the Rumble.
Well,
She can go wherever she wants.
Santos Escobar could have been in the Rumble.
Yeah.
I mean, at least the Women's Rumble had some, legends or whatever, had some surprises. Men's, it was Bad Bunny.
But with the women, they have surprises
Which
because
is
they don't
fine.
have enough to fill out the 30.
Well, that's part of the reason why they had the legends, because they couldn't fill out the 30. Why they couldn't use the NXT folks, I don't know. But
That's
oh well.
my question.
I don't know. So
Why would we build up our own product? Oh, that makes no sense.
I don't know.
Let's build up Impact, but not NXT.
Yeah. So anyway.
What do I know?
Yeah. All right, we're gonna get out of here. Thanks so much for joining us. For Eddie, I'm Stu. No video stream next week. Again, I will be on Radio Row for Super Bowl 56 in Los Angeles. But we will do the podcast and the radio show next week, so catch that. We'll be back on video stream in 2 weeks. Hopefully, Justin Smash Simmons will be with me. Big thanks to